Welcome to this completely abandoned shooting range, which, well, it's a nice location for this new 2016 Ford Focus RS. I have a blue one and I think it looks really cool in blue. It matches the color of the RS logo, so it really blends in there. So it doesn't look as aggressive and out there as the last Focus RS, but it's still such a it's such a car. It really is so imposing. So you still get these enormous pipes, which the last Focus RS also had, but the sound is coming from a 4-cylinder turbo engine, and the previous Focus had a 5-cylinder turbo engine, which sounded epic. So I'm really curious if this one can... it won't be able to be better. That's not possible with 4 cylinders, but if it can maybe approach it in terms of sound. Yeah, you get this massive rear wing, which, well, I think it looks awesome. And I have the optional 19-inch rims. If you there's just one package on this car. You get the blue brake calipers, you get bigger rims and bigger wheels, and you get these Recaro seats. Okay, so let's get in. Okay, in here, let's get rid of this fly. So when you get in, the only thing reminding you that this is the ultimate Focus is that little logo that was just there, and this one. And of course the seats, but I do think this is the major downside of this Focus RS. The interior is a bit cheap and plastic, and it doesn't look like a full performance end of the line Focus RS. Okay, let's start it up. Let's start the driving section with one of the coolest things about this Focus RS, because as I said, the interior is one of the worst things about it, but this really is a very cool and fun car. And it's all-wheel drive, so normally all-wheel drive is a bit boring. The Audi RS3 Quattro, the A45 AMG 4MATIC, those cars are very understeery. They do have a lot of grip, but they are not very playful. And Ford really tried to make this car playful, make it behave like a rally car, like a rear-wheel drive car, make it do 4-wheel drifts. So it has a drift mode, which was highly anticipated, because, well, this is the first 4-wheel drive car that just shouts, I want to drift. There is a drift mode, so let's see what it's like. I'm just going to do a little bit of sideways stuff because Ford won't let me shred the tires. So just put it in first, and the key thing is to get the nose to dive in, get the back out, and then keep the power on to keep the back out. And then you can do stuff like this in a rear-wheel drive car. It's so cool. But as I said, I won't do it for a very long time because Ford won't appreciate it. Okay, let's start in normal driving mode. There's Max making some shots. Okay, in normal driving mode, the Focus doesn't produce a very engaging sound. It sounds like a normal 4-cylinder. And when you shift a few times, you immediately notice how good this manual gearbox is. The dual clutch units in, well, nearly all the super hot hatches like the A45, the BMW M2, the Audi RS3, they are very, very fast. You won't be able to go as quick or shift as quick as you can in those cars, but this very sharp and sweet manual is so much cooler. It really is. When you drive the dual clutch unit, you think, wow, this is fast, and the gears are so incredible and the pedals are really cool. But after driving it for like half an hour, you get bored because you don't need to do that much. And in this you do, and that really makes this a very, very engaging car. Okay, let's switch to sport mode. And in this mode, the exhaust and the engine are set to produce the coolest sounds they can make. And you get these lovely, lovely exhaust sounds. I don't know if you can hear it, I hope you can, but they really are very, very cool. The crackles when you lift, when you hit it, when you shift up, when you shift down, it really is very, very cool. And I don't know how they did it, because the A45 AMG, when it was released, everyone was like, wow, they really made a 4-cylinder turbo engine that sounds cool with crackles and bangs. But when you drive it for like 2 days, you notice that it's trickery. It feels so artificial when you've driven it for a few hours. The crackles and bangs in the A45 AMG are so artificial and are nearly the same every time. And in this car, the sound is always different. The one time you get like this very loud bang, just one bang, and then you get a few little bangs, and it sounds metally, it can sound a bit damped, and all these little sounds just make it so good in terms of sound. I really think this is the best sounding 4-cylinder turbo car you can get. And you really notice that Ford wanted to make the most fun super hatch and not the fastest. It doesn't mean that it's not fast, because it really is, and it handles very, very good. But fun is the most important thing about this car. And I think the other manufacturers really forgot about the fun. They were all about the performance. And the handling of this thing is really, it's very, very firm, the suspension, and very hard, but man, you do get a lot of grip and feel for it in return. There also is a stiffer suspension mode, and this is one of the, well, these tiny things that bother me about this car. The button for the suspension mode, well, normally you would think it's right here or maybe in the menu. It's here on the indicator light switch. Why is it there? It's such a weird place. Okay, now we're in super stiff suspension mode. So normally it's like incredibly stiff, and now it doesn't have any suspension. And this is a very smooth and slick road, but if you're on a bumpy road, well, you're gonna lose your teeth. So I don't think that mode is very necessary, because there isn't any body roll in normal mode. So maybe on the track you can get slightly better lap times, because, well, this suspension is a bit stiffer, but on normal roads you don't need this super stiff suspension mode. Okay, another cool and fun thing about this car. It's a manual, and normally in manuals you don't get launch controls. So they did all the controversial things. Normally with a four-wheel drive car you can do power slides and drifting, and normally with a manual gearbox you can do launch control, but in this you can, and it's freaking cool. It really is very, very cool. What I hate about it though is the way you have to set it up, because you have to get in this menu, you have to put it in first, you have to put it in sport mode, and then go down, down, wait, assistance, launch control. There it is. Okay, now I have to floor the throttle and then just immediately dump the clutch, and then the car just does everything for me except for shifting up. But it really is very, very cool, because, well, let's see why it's very cool. Wow, that's so fast. This car does 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 4.7 seconds, and that's absurdly fast for a manual car, for a manual hatchback. And it's able to do 266 kilometers an hour, but let's see if it can do it on the Autobahn. Welcome to the Autobahn, and let's see what this Focus RS can do in a straight line. It's really, really quick. It feels torquey. It has power through the entire rev range. Wow, this engine. It just keeps on going, and the gears are so perfect. The clutch is perfect. When you shift up, it immediately gives full torque, full power, and that's because of a very good clutch. The ride is also very good. It feels stable. You shouldn't put it in the super stiff suspension mode, because it's a bit bumpy here, so you want some space to absorb the speed and the bumps. But man, it really, really goes. And I love the fact that Ford says, why 250? Let's make it do 266. And the German brands do that as well, but as is the German tradition, you have to pay for it. And you don't have to pay for a higher top speed at Ford. So well done, Ford. Okay, to conclude, this Focus RS in Holland, it's 50,000 euros, and that makes it quite a bargain, because a Focus ST is 40,000 euros here, and a 10,000 euro difference. Well, you're really not good in your mind, to put it mildly, if you buy a Focus ST. And the competitors, A45 AMG, it's 63,000 euros, the RS3 is 70,000 euros, and the M2 is an eye-watering 80,000 euros. So this thing is 30,000 euros cheaper than a BMW M2. And just keep those 30k in your pocket, because this is so much more fun, I think, than a BMW M2. I think Ford really, they deserve a prize for this car. No, it's not the fastest. It won't be the fastest on the Nürburgring, but it will put the biggest smile on your face, I'm sure of it. Okay, thanks guys for watching this POV review. We have a lot of more cool stuff of this car on our channel, cool videos about the sound and speed and acceleration and measurements and that sort of stuff. Don't forget to subscribe in the corner there, and we would really appreciate it if you do. Okay, thank you, bye.